I'm the one who's stuck here playing with her. Usually it's you, and she'll bite your fingers.
Yeah. It's unpleasant, right?
Yeah, you're her human prop.
I am her human prop, but I am not her prop for shows.
Oh, that's a segue.
Welcome to Project Nutmeg. I'm Mr. Snapper.
And I'm Red Snapper, and Nutmeg is being a nutmeg. Our little Ewok in training.
Oh, she's being a stinker.
She is being a stinker.
In our last episode, we showed you Nutmeg's Ewok hood and talked about her costume for Red's Return of the Jedi inspired act. Red will talk about her complimentary costume in an upcoming episode of Showgirl's Closet.
Yes. Today, we're going behind the scenes to talk about building the set and props, not just for video, but for live performance. That means everything needs to be portable, durable, and flexible.
The overall theme is Endor. Think forest floor, trees, and fallen logs. But here's the challenge. We want these props to work not just for this act, but for future acts too. So imagine a Wicket plank that Nutmeg can cross with Velcro strips on the audience-facing side. And so for this act, we attach indoor greenery. For a Super Mario Brothers act, blocks or pipes. For a pirate act, weathered wood and ropes. Same plank, but multiple looks.
Yes. To make this work, we build around Nutmeg's skills. She can spin, weave, jump over hurdles, army crawl, and even walk backward on two legs. She is a real Ginger Rogers.
True.
So every prop we build or modify has to fit her size, her safety, and her trick toolkit. For example, a tunnel that she can go through with the command tunnel, or a lightweight agility A-frame that she can climb with the command A-frame. Or, it's funny, we call it what it is as part of the command. An agility table. So we say table and she hops onto the table. And of course, a log or a rock that she can materialize onto for her big Ewok moment.
All right, so here's the plan. Collapsible trees made from foam or cardboard, maybe even repurposed Christmas trees. We use lightweight PVC pipes for frames with canvas backdrops we can paint and swap out. That's one idea. Mm-hmm. Another thing is with a Wicket, which looks kind of like this, like I was saying before, you put little pieces of Velcro around it so that you can lay over something on top of this. So this piece, the Wicket plank, it looks like a Wicket plank. That's just what it looks like. That's how it's built. And that standard piece of equipment could be used for multiple acts. So we could imagine this is like a canvas that goes over top of this, right? So maybe it's a fallen log. Maybe we have like sort of paint this so that it's got that loggy look, got some bark, a happy little tree, if you will.
And bark.
And bark. And then, maybe there's just some greenery down here. So anyway, the idea is it has a certain look that is just this thing that we put on top of it.
And we would measure it so that we could create a pattern. So every time we do an act, we're just doing not quite a backdrop, a front drop.
A front drop, yeah.
A skirt.
A skirt.
To attach to the front of this with Velcro in the same places. Or hook and loop tape. This is not sponsored by Velcro.
It's not Velcro.
But yeah, hook and loop tape. This branch that you've added to the end, that would not get in the way of her ramp to enter the Wicket, and we wouldn't paint the surface of the Wicket itself.
Right.
I would not want her to be confused about the safety of it, and that's, part of it. They see things, they know the color of the thing. Keep it easy and safe.
So Nutmeg what is it called? There's another piece of agility equipment where there's like a fabric over the end of it.
Oh, it's the tube.
The tube, that's what they call it?
Yeah, she could go through a tube. I think it's tube or
even a curtain for that matter. So what we could do is make it so this is like a slit here, and so it's actually a curtain that she could pop out of.
Oh, yes.
So she can go, little Nutmeg can go on top of this thing, obviously, but she could also pop her head out from down here.
Yeah, she walks through the curtain in and out of this room when we're filming,
Yeah, there you
when we
go.
have the gate open. So going through an opening, not a big deal. She's also gone through agility courses where there was like a tunnel that went underneath the Wicket. So that is something else that we could work with. Now, if we were doing this, like shooting it for video within this space, we wouldn't need something huge.
No. It could be like just a smaller size, or we could make this actually.
We could build this. We'd just have to get the supplies and do it.
And honestly, it probably shouldn't be a full-size Wicket like at Agility because it has to fit in our car.
True.
It's another thing about all of this is it has to be small enough, collapsible enough to fit in our car.
Yeah, something portable. But I think that's a great plan. And we could give her this. We could also have some opening where people could see the backdrop, the actual backdrop. So we don't have bushes covering everything. She can just come and go as she pleases.
True. Yeah, it could just be
beneath
a thing where it's just, you don't even necessarily have to have all of this stuff here. We can get rid of that and just,
have a little bit if we want. Yeah,
it's open.
That's an option too.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea is it's not a one-time prop. It's part of a traveling toolkit. And it's easier to store. So a big part of your Showgirls Closet series is figuring out which costumes and props to keep and which ones we no longer want to store. We don't have like a specific, we've got the Showgirls Closet, we don't have a Nutmeg's Closet.
We don't have a Nutmeg's Closet. So. We barely even have Mr. Snapper's personal wardrobe closet.
It's true. It has to stow away nicely, which is not to say that we couldn't have a dedicated prop for this. So one thing we could do is, since tubes are basically logs, we could get a tube that's specific for this act and paint it to look like a log.
Sure.
And then you just fold it up because it folds up super flat.
Yes, and then put fabric on the end that's the right fabric for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we build the set, we'll also train Nutmeg on each prop. She knows the props, but she needs to get to know these props. We want her to be comfortable with the surfaces, the sounds, and the layout so that she's confident on stage or in video performances.
So we'll start simple. Have her Wicket, jump over, tunnel, and table. And some of these things she already knows. But our versions, the ones that we build, the Wicket we build or buy, the table, they'll be a little different from what she trains on at school. So once she's fluent with our props, then we can introduce the dressing and decorations.
Yes. And remember that unpredictability is part of the magic. That's the joy of live performance.
For instance, the unpredictability of dogs barking in the middle of a video.
That's pretty predictable. If they're in the room, that's pretty predictable.
It does happen quite a bit.
It is. If Nutmeg wriggles out of her hood or improvises a bit during the show, that's okay. The audience loves it. They love when the animals disobey. When you watch agility competitions gone wrong and there are dogs that are just like, to hell with it, and they run wild, the audience loves it.
That's
and the
true.
dog has a great time too.
And definitely, the dog has fun too.
Yes, for sure.
One thing I was thinking about is a table, but it would also be similar to her box situation.
Oh yeah.
So, but round, right? Mm-hmm. So that it's just like almost
stump.
like a little stool. But yeah, and then once she's used to jumping on and off of the table,
Nutmeg for scale.
there's Nutmeg for scale. Then we can go in and we can put a little skirt on it so that it looks like a stump. Mm-hmm. And then we can also, on these things, we have the little thing sticking off so that it has more dimension, so it looks more like the actual thing.
Yeah, and this could be just the simplest thing. Have a stuffed toy section, basically.
Yeah.
So that it's got a little nub.
Oh yeah, so it's like a canvas,
yub
like
nub.
a fabric thing, a yub nub, a fabric with a little toy, like a stuffed branch sticking off of it.
Yeah, yeah.
We've talked about the practicalities here, what tricks Nutmeg can do, what specific equipment we need for those tricks. And that's all very, very practical. But there's a whole other level we have not even addressed yet.
Storytelling. And how that is represented through the choreography.
We definitely want to figure that out before building a bunch of props. So what if you don't need the Wicket?
Yeah.
And what if you don't need the tunnel? Mm-hmm. That would be a bunch of work for nothing.
And we'd be spending money on something that would go to waste. We're definitely going to talk about choreography in a future episode.
I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and boop the bell for notifications. May the Force be with you and your pet. And
see us next time. Bye.
goodbye.